That right there would be a 100% increase in the share price. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom. This is not financial advice. We're here to talk about all things investing, and today I want to talk to you about Cleanspark, ticker CLSK. Now, I've done several videos on Cleanspark recently. I did one near the end of last week, and I feel like I absolutely have to follow that one up. I want to get in there again today and take a look at what's going on because there's a gigantic move happening in Cleanspark. What I'm going to try to do is just really quickly go through the Q3 results, which was the catalyst for last week's giant downturn in this stock. We'll look at the price action for today, and then I want to go to the charts and look at the Bitcoin chart because obviously Cleanspark trades off of the Bitcoin chart. But more importantly, I want to show you the Cleanspark chart. It's 11:30 on Monday, August 23rd. So we're in the middle of the trading day. So I just wanted to show you, this is Yahoo Finance, I'm sure you're all familiar with. I just wanted to show you what's going on with Cleanspark. So they're trading at $12.67 at the moment, up $1.88 on the day, or 17.93%. It's rolling as we're talking here. So they're up almost 18% on the day today. Let's take a quick look at Q3 and what all the fuss was about. Cleanspark Inc. reports financial results for its third quarter ended June 30th, 2021. 9-month revenue increased 176% to $22.3 million from 1 year ago period. So that was an all-time record. 3-month revenue increased 250% to $11.9 million. So as you can see, these are absolute monster growth numbers. The $11.9 million was the most revenue they've ever had in a quarter by far, and they're only just getting started. I really did a deep dive in this on my last video, which you can check out, so I want to keep it brief here. I'm going to play a real brief clip from my last video that I did at the end of the week last week on Cleanspark, the day after these earnings were reported. I just want to share some of my thoughts that I expressed in that video without having to duplicate them. So let's go to the video. Prior to Bitcoin even existing in Cleanspark's world, this was a $10 or $11 stock. If we zoom into today, you'll see that that closed at $11.67. So either the entire Bitcoin portion of their company is being valued at zero, or they're completely ignoring and valuing at zero their main business. So you can see just a week ago here, they were at almost $16. So they've gone from, $15.91 to $11.67 over the last week and a half, let's say. I don't understand what's happened in the last week and a half that would change the value of this company down in that manner. And by the way, in my opinion, they were way undervalued at $15.91. Okay, and we're back. Those were my thoughts on Cleanspark. I felt like the stock got beat up unjustly. It's trading in unchartedly low territories. Again, this is not financial advice. This is how I look at these charts. In my opinion, like I just said, I think this stock was way undervalued in the $15 to $16 range. So after the clip we just looked at, it actually traded down into the $10 range. So I personally continued to load up my position, actually past where I anticipated ever going, but the price was just so ridiculous that I did buy in. So before I go into the Cleanspark chart, let me just quickly recap my thoughts on what Bitcoin is doing. I did a video on Bitcoin on Friday as it pertains to all the miners because the miners are heavily correlated to the price of Bitcoin in the short term here. I believe that that will become less and less true as time goes by, but at the moment there's a heavy correlation. So I did a video, if you see this green circle right here, that was Friday's price action on Bitcoin. So I had a yellow line here just under $48,000 that to me has represented significant resistance for Bitcoin over the last several months. So literally during that video, if you watch that video that I posted on Friday, you will see that we went from below that line, we crossed that line as I was doing the video. And I felt strongly that if we crossed that line and were able to hold above 48,000, that we would make a quick run at 51,000, and in fact my yellow line's at 51,415. So you can see since we crossed this point of resistance, we had a nice run up, and we actually went right back down and tested that, and it now proved to be, as it often does, resistance turns into support. So we bounced right off of that and had a nice run up over 50,000. We were at, somewhere around 50,500 going into this morning. So you can see right here in this circle, over the last few hours, Bitcoin has pulled back from about 50,400 to like 49,589 is what it looks like it's trading at right now. So we're getting a little dip. My opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, you guys need to decide for yourselves. I think we are still headed towards that $51,400 line. There wasn't much strong resistance the way I looked at the charts. So it's bouncing up and down a little, but I'm still anticipating a run back to 51,000. It could very easily go retest 48,000 again. It's already done that once. So I try not to look too short term at Bitcoin because, as you all know, it's an extremely volatile asset. So I believe that at some point, sooner than later, it will break the $51,000 barrier, and there's not a lot of resistance above that. So I think we could be in a run over the next couple of months where we get back to testing our all-time highs. That's my expectation for the price action on Bitcoin. Having said that, you guys all know this thing goes where it goes. So in the short term, anything can happen. Now let's take a look at the CleanSpark chart. I have a line here at August 16th, and you can see it was at about $13.72 on that day. That is the day that they reported their earnings. As an aside, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. So after their earnings, we saw a giant gap down. All the way into the $11 range, and then like I talked about, $10.44 I think is where it bottomed out. So this thing went from $13.71 down into the mid to low $10 range. So that gap occurred August 16th on Tuesday of last week. So since then you can see we got down to $10. We came back up to this line. This proved to be some resistance. We went back down and tested that mid $10 range. This is today. So today has been a straight line up. And at the moment, we remain above this line that I have here in the $12.44 range. And you'll see at the moment, we remain above that spot. If we can remain above that spot, I'm expecting a short-term run. The first thing it can do is get back to where it was last Tuesday before they reported results. And again, in my opinion, I thought their quarterly results were outstanding. This is an early growth stage stock, so they did not have net income, but their top line growth was outstanding. They seem to be on schedule with adding their hash rate, and they have a plan to dramatically continue to increase. So all signs for me are positive. So the first price target that I would have is just to get back to where we were last Tuesday before we had a monumental overreaction. So that would get you back to $13.71. To put it in perspective from here, that's a 7 or 8% increase just to get back there. Now, prior to this earnings report, where it dipped below this green line, it had pretty reliably, in the short term, it had been trading between $12.44 and $15.68, basically. So, the $12.50 to $15.50 range was its trading range. So if we were to go from where we are right now, just back up to the top of its trading range, that would be a 24% increase in the short term. So this is this year's chart on CleanSpark. So you can see it's been a very volatile year. So the first point that I'm going to show you is on February 18th, this thing was at around $42. That was its recent high in this run, and you can see that it's pulled way back from there. So I'm not really going to focus on that $42 line just now. What I want to look at is from March 15th, right here, you'll see this red box. Inside of that time, CleanSpark was very reliably trading, let's call it $16 on the low side and $25 on the high side. You know, you could even draw a line in the middle right here at around $20 or $21 that showed some resistance as well. If it were to get back to the top of its old trading range, that right there would be a 100% increase in the share price. And that's just to get back to its trading range that it's traded in consistently throughout most of this year. That is ignoring the high, the spike that it had up to $42. So I left that off the table. I'm not even going to calculate what it would be to run up to that number, because that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking to see if it can jump back into its short-term trading range, and then from there jump back into its mid-term trading range. I'm very bullish on this stock. If you watch my previous videos, I go into much greater detail. But I just wanted to show everybody that, you know, I had done a video on this last week that I was kind of charged up on this thing dropping so dramatically on the Q3 results. And already we've had a very quick, massive comeback. So, you know, you guys can use your judgment as to what a good entry point is. I'm not buying at this point right now because I already bought so much down at $10 and $11. I'm going to let my position ride. But if you guys are working your position out and are at the beginning or the middle of building your position, in my opinion, if you look at this chart, it looks like we're still pretty early in the run on CleanSpark. But again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. I'm excited about where I think CleanSpark is going, so expect several more videos this week. And thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.